Hi, everybody. Dan Casey here. I'm going to talk about taxation of annuities. Extremely confusing. 99% of the people I talk to don't understand how taxes on annuities work because it's different if it's in an IRA. It's different if it's in a non-IRA. So before I go over some of that stuff, I want to make sure we're all on the same page of what cost basis means. Let's say you purchase a stock in a non-IRA account, and this is the value of it, okay? Over, say, 10 years, it grows to this point. So this is the total value of that stock. So if you were to pass away and give this to your kids, you get what's called the stepped up basis, meaning it's as if you sold that stock on the day that you passed. So this would all be tax-free. Right? If you give it to them at this point, or you sell it and you still own it at this point, then all this will be taxable, right? Those are your gains. But when you pass and you're not in an IRA, then you get the stepped up basis, meaning that they don't pay taxes on any of it, as if it's sold the day you die with no taxes. Okay, so now that we know that, let me get rid of this and talk about how it works with annuities. So any investment inside an IRA does not get the stepped up basis. Most investments outside of an IRA do. However, not when it's in an annuity. Okay, annuities that are not in an IRA or 401k or whatever do not get the stepped up basis. Okay, so knowing that, let's discuss taxation of annuities. So inside an IRA, regardless of what investments you have inside the IRA, XYZ, whatever it is, it's all going to come out and be taxed at your regular income tax rates, okay? There are no capital gains rates. There are no dividend rates. It all comes out as your regular income tax rates, okay? So any non-IRA, and in this case, we're going to talk about an annuity. So if you have an annuity inside a non-IRA, other annuities, people call them non-qualified annuities. That just means, an annuity that's not inside an IRA. So again, you don't get the stepped up basis when you die. If while you're alive, what happens is if it's a deferred annuity, meaning you put the money in and you don't touch it for a while and it gets deferred, the money that comes out is all going to be your gains initially. Okay, so it works in the accounting world. That's called LIFO, meaning last in, first out. Okay, so the first thing in was your initial contribution to the annuity, right? The last thing in was all the gains. Okay, so the last thing in is gains, so that's the first thing that's going to come out when you withdraw money from an annuity, all taxable, okay, because that can wreak havoc on your retirement income. A way around this is then because the what do they call that? The perfect way to get money out of an IRA would preferably be inside what's called an immediate annuity. Okay, that's because, why can't I spell today? That's because an immediate annuity gets to use what's called the exclusion ratio. And what the heck is the exclusion ratio? First of all, an immediate annuity is an annuity that you give a lump sum of money to an insurance company, and they immediately, at least as soon as 30 days after, start paying you out monthly benefits that will be guaranteed for the rest of your life and possibly your spouse's life, depending on how it's set up. When it's an immediate annuity like that, you get what's called the exclusion ratio. And that's the pros. The cons are, when you do this, you usually give up access to all, if not, or most, if not all of your annuity money. Okay, it's irrevocable and you can't touch it. Some you can touch a little bit, but for the most part, you're locking up any money you give to an insurance company if you want an immediate annuity. Why is the exclusion ratio good? Well, the exclusion ratio does, instead of last in, first out, what they do is they'll give you your payment, and each payment will be part return of your own principal, in other words, tax-free, and part gains. Okay, so let's say this ratio is 20% of what you put in and 80%, meaning the value of this annuity right now is 20% of the original money you put in, 20% gains. That means that each payment that you get, 20% will be return of your own principal, 80% will be gains. So if you're getting $1,000 a month for the rest of your life, $200 will be return of your own money or tax-free, 80% will be taxable money. Okay. Now that's the exclusion ratio. So you can get part of your money tax-free of each of these payments. Okay. As opposed to just withdrawing it without the immediate annuity part of it. It's going to be last in, first out, or everything coming out is going to be 100% taxable. Okay. Now this is where it starts to get interesting. I'm going to get rid of this up here because while you're alive, there is an option to put it in a particular type of annuity. So we would transfer this annuity over to this special kind of annuity, and we could get the exclusion ratio. Wow, I cannot write on this pad at all. You'll get the exclusion ratio and you'll get access to your money. Okay. A few insurance companies offer this. So you will have some of your money return of principal tax-free and some gains, depending on what the makeup of is your annuity. Okay. So you can still do that while you're alive. When you die is when it can get interesting. Now your beneficiaries, they're usually limited to either having to take it out in a lump sum, which means it's all going to be taxable. All the gains will be taxable immediately. They can do the 5-year rule, so they can spread out those gains over 5 years. And again, or they can choose to annuitize, or other words, turn it into an immediate annuity and get the exclusion ratio. But usually most of that money is going to be, you can never touch it again. Okay. Now, what's interesting is the insurance company that offers this cool option will also let your beneficiaries. Okay, this is getting crazy. Let me get rid of this so I can start over. A cool option with, and by the way, while I'm erasing this, I think in 2013 the IRS made a decision for one taxpayer that if they inherited the annuity outside of an IRA, they are now considered the owner, and they can move that annuity to any annuity they want. Now, some insurance companies, because that was a private letter ruling, some of the insurance companies won't deal with that because that was only put out for a specific person. But some insurance companies will say, well, that's pretty much saying that really any beneficiary that inherits an annuity outside of an IRA, it's their annuity now, so they can do whatever they want with it. Okay, so back to an annuity not inside an IRA. Let's say it's made up like this. Again, this is what you initially put in, and these are all the gains. Okay, so when you pass and give this annuity to a beneficiary, you can set it up in a special way. How to explain that's too much for this video, but where the beneficiary can take these gains out completely. Oh, I'm sorry. Take this part out completely tax-free and do whatever they want with it. Take the gains out and spread it out over, at least if you the owner of the past was taking out payments from this payments for the rest of your life, then the beneficiary has got to take those same payments out for however long it was designed to pay out for you. It gets a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to stop right there. But for the most part, get this, that the beneficiary can take this tax-free amount out, do whatever they want with it, and spread out the gains over a very long time. So really cool. Now, while you own the annuity, you cannot take these gains out tax-free like that. You can only take it out in a deferred annuity where this all comes out first, or in a special way where you can get the exclusion ratio and it comes out where part of it will be return of principal and part of it will be gains. Boy, I hope this makes sense. It gets kind of confusing. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them, but that's the taxation of annuities.